Hey guys, sorry for the delay in videos and lack of good background right now. I just started going back to college, so I moved and I didn't really have any time to get a studio or anything set up. So I'm here and it's going to improve over time. But I want to get a video out to y'all today, and that'll be a review of the men's 64 kg Sports Sambo European Championships final. So let's get right into it. I have it on silent because it is all Russian commentary, and most people won't know it or speak the language. So I'd rather just commentate over it and not have to speak over the recording. In blue, we have the Azerbaijani. Red, we have the Russian. Their names are incredibly hard to say, and I don't want to mispronounce them. Got a double sleeve grip, or one-sided double sleeve grip from the Russian. Going to the belt, both of them have this really low stance, and from this stance it's really hard to get anything off, especially with the grip that low on the sleeve and the belt. The only thing I could really see happening is a sumigaeshi sacrifice throw for maybe 1 point. I don't see much more than that happening. And the Azerbaijani looks like he lost the grip battle and the head position battle, with the Russian having his head right here and having the belt grip. He's got a lot more power. There's that attempt at sumigaeshi. He's possibly going to try to go for an armbar right there, or invert and maybe go for a knee bar. But Azerbaijani stood up and they restart the match. I'd like to see a little bit more aggression from the Azerbaijani, but the Russian goes in for kind of like Harai or Soto off the grip. Not really much happens, but he's definitely being the aggressor. Both have right-sided sleeve and lapel. Very low stance. Really hard for either of them to get a solid attack off that wouldn't be like a sacrifice throw, like a Yoko Tomonagi, Sumi, something of that nature. Or maybe since they both have their weight shifted really far to their heels, a deep like Ochi or Kouchi would be possible. They're kind of a weak drop Seo attempt, but at least an attempt from the Azerbaijani to ward off any penalties at the moment. You can see that low stance is really hard to enter in for anything. Tried to go for a single leg. Couldn't get to the legs at all. With the Kurka, it's really, really hard to get to the legs. Nice attempt at like a Katagurumo right there. Just good sprawl from the Russian. Now we're seeing really good attack attempts from the Azerbaijani. Not really good, but at least they're attempts. A roll through to the armbar from the Russian. Rolls through, gets good position. He's got a good armbar attempt coming in. And you can see he was really good mat awareness. He could tell that he's on the edge of the mat, and if both people are off the mat in Sambo, it immediately stops. So incredible mat awareness to pull himself back on the mat, and we'll see if he finishes this. He tried to pull himself back off the mat, but they both came off, and it gets restarted. I'm not sure if the penalty is deserved for the Azerbaijani. I think he had just gone for that Katagruma attempt that was pretty decent. He hadn't really done anything too different than the Russian. Decent sacrifice throw attempt right there. I'd like to see one of them try a double off the grip because they have a much higher stance before gripping up. I think maybe a shot for a double leg or a single leg would do well. Russian essentially tries to pull guard to an armbar. Gets stood up immediately because the Azerbaijani lifts him and stays standing. See, a well-timed shot right there would work really well. Oh, and the Russian goes for it, gets the legs, and then Azerbaijani sprawls real hard. Penalty for the Azerbaijani. I think the Russian was signaling that the Azerbaijani was going for a choke because he was kind of patting his neck like this. It seems like he was signaling that was that he was choking him or attacking the neck. So it's 1-0 based on penalties. Ooh, nice attempt for like a real low Seotoshi sort of thing. And now another entry for an armbar seems to be coming. If there were chokes, I would say it would be like a entry for... Oh! Knee bar entry. Escape, and they're going to stand back up and probably reset soon. Referee signals to reset. Okay, so the Russian got 1 point off of that really, really low Tayatoshi or Seotoshi, dropping the Azerbaijani on the stomach. With a minute left to go, the Russian could possibly stall this out, keeping that low stance, maybe throwing in some foot sweeps, a drop Seo attack so he avoids the penalty. That really low sleeve grip is really giving the Azerbaijani a lot of problems. Essentially another guard pull right there. I can definitely understand the frustration with the kind of defensive gripping. Double penalty, both kind of stalling, not really much happening. But with 30 seconds, definitely that favors the Russian. Nice rolling knee bar entry, way too far away to actually make it happen. But he gets the Azerbaijani to the ground, stalls for another 10 seconds essentially. With 20 seconds left, it's going to be hard for any real penalties to rack up. Really smart play by the Russian, going for a lot of kind of sacrifice attempts. Really, really easy throws to get without having to worry about being countered. Going for the armbar with 1 second, doesn't matter. Wins the match. So Azerbaijani ends with 3 penalties which leaves 2 points for the Russian from those 3 penalties, and 1 point from that really low tie-o. Some interesting notes about this is the Russians' use of sacrifice throws, pulling guard to arm bars, and just kind of attempting low singles to keep looking like he's on the offense. That really helped him rack up those penalty points against the Azerbaijani. And I guess that one moment where the Russian called for a penalty against the Azerbaijani for choking, I believe. I don't see really any other penalty that could have happened right there. So, thought it was an interesting match. If I'm going against someone I can't really throw, it kind of gives me more ideas to use. Use a little bit more of the Tomonagis, the Yokos, pull to armbar, like a flying armbar, just to keep on the attacks, because they're going to give the other guy a penalty. Obviously, there's a little bit of a bias towards Russians, being that it's a Russian sport. It happens quite often. Sometimes there's a bias towards Japanese in judo, so it happens when that's your home country sport. But it kind of gives a good insight into the tactics, and this review might help me if I have to face either of these guys in the future at like the World Championships. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thank y'all for sticking around during my kind of layoff from YouTube. Have a good day, and please leave a like and subscribe.